keep the other me?
I'm keeping
You
the
should.
other you. Yeah, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because it
No,
is.
I have this mic I could use, but
Well, yeah,
can you set
you
it up?
got it's a directional mic, so you got to put it in front of you, and it.
Well, it's not. I'm not. It's not on right now.
There you go. Oh, other Alex
Oh,
left.
he left. Why would he? What a jerk! I don't like him.
I
He's
don't.
weird.
He's the one of the small caps. You're the one of the big
Yeah,
caps.
that's right. That's right. I
All
have
right.
big calves. He can go after himself.
Well, Alex, welcome to Strength Hammer episode 103.
So good to be here, man. It's been too long.
Has it?
Been
Took
two
a week.
weeks, right?
No, we did a week.
No.
Our recording, yes, has been 2 weeks, but
Ah,
for the audience viewing pleasure, it's only been a week off.
wow.
It
Well, my hair has gotten short.
has mine has not yet,
It's gotten long.
not yet.
Definitely is long.
And actually, we'll get this out of the way right now. Next week, I will be on vacation, so there will not be a podcast.
Very sad. Very sad indeed. Where are you going?
I am going to Long Island to the LI Retro Gaming Convention to do nothing related to Warhammer, most likely.
That sounds wonderful. Take a break.
It's different. It's different. Actually, it is a very odd year. Even with my upcoming trip in November for the Warhammer US Open Grand Narrative, which I'll be a part of again, just from scheduling and life changes and happenings, I will have been technically to more non-Warhammer conventions than Warhammer conventions this year, for the first time in probably a decade.
Yeah, that's quite odd. Huh.
It is. Granted, one was a card show for my dad, so it wasn't.
Are you counting the Arnold?
Oh no, that would be third. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's true.
Definitely more than Warhammer
But we
conventions.
also built a
Huh.
Warhammer model there, so
Yeah, it could be. Could as well. And we met some Warhammer nerds there.
we did. We did. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
We'll see. That one might balance it out. That's but Alex, how are you
Oh
doing?
wait, sorry,
So,
sorry. Give me a second. I've not flexed yet. Let me go
no,
for
you
it.
don't have to flex everywhere. Not everything's content.
Oh no, no, it's I got it here. There we
I
go.
think can I can remove you from call. I can don't watch. I can turn I can turn your video off on my end. There we go.
Oh, no.
All right, so I just
My
learned that.
identity, my arms.
You have enough followers,
That's true.
and all two of your followers are probably watching this podcast.
Yes.
That's the
That's how.
that's our Venn diagram is like two or three people between your followers and the people on this podcast. Despite the fact that you put it back
Uh,
out there for everybody because you enjoy
yeah,
it.
they just don't care, man. I mean, honestly, it's just me chatting to you. This is a great time.
Oh, that's why I do it. I don't care. Like, I mean, if you're out there and you're appreciating this, thank you. Pretty much like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff. But like, I'm not trying to make this my life. I just have fun talking to you about fitness and Warhammer, Neil,
Um,
and everybody that comes on the show.
One of those days is going to go viral. You can get like 1,000+ views on the podcast. Like, what happened?
That's when I'll start talking about my political views, and we'll just see how fast we can tank.
Right.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
Very good. We can talk about religion and politics.
Ooh, religion, politics. I could still go pretty hot on a bunch of old stuff from 2020 if you want.
We can do that.
That's still deep inside.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, we are here. Is Strength Hammer episode 103. Alex, it is good to talk to you again.
Always.
Before we start talking about anything fitness or hobby related, I have to ask because there's been a lot of rain lately. How is your lawn?
My lawn is more green or greener, as they say in the grammatically correct community, right?
I
Greener.
don't know. We
What?
need Dave. We need the only Dave Roke to correct us on that.
The grass is greener on the other side, so I think it is greener. The grass is greener. I've only had to cut it once since last time we talked because it
Mm-hmm.
was very, very, very dry for a while. But it is growing back, and it's looking more beautifuler. So I've been enjoying that, and I'm going to trim my bushes tomorrow. I'm
There you
going to
go.
weed whack after that,
You gonna play with
and
your heavy balls in between some bush
I'm going to play.
clearing?
And I'm going to play with my heavy stone balls after that. Actually, that's going to be on a Sunday,
Okay, that sounds good. I
and then,
like
and
that.
then, and then I'm going to swing my mace around.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta let the mace swing around every once in a while.
That's right. That's right.
Gotta.
Probably outside. Probably going to swing my mace outside.
I mean, you have a modern basement. You might be able to do a little bit, maybe like a half
Maybe.
choke. You know.
Maybe it's honestly it's so heavy. I have to use a mace to make sure. I have to use chalk to make sure my mace doesn't slip out of my hands.
Well, then tonight's fitness topic will be just for you. But
I was wondering how far we're gonna take this.
That's fine. We can go as far as we want.
Yeah, we
Um,
can.
but okay, well, yeah, my lawn is also doing well. I actually cut it before all the rain because the weeds that were popping up was enough for me to
Sure,
want to
sure.
cut it.
Mhm.
But still, yeah, it's good. I think I'll cut it before vacation, before I leave for a couple
Oh,
days. So just as you
good
do,
call.
it's just to set a precedent. Like, hey, neighbors, I appreciate what you're doing, but I'm cutting the grass now because I'm not going to cut it while you're mowing in a couple days.
That's right. It's been weird because I almost always cut my lawn after my neighbors, and this time around, for some reason, that was the first one. And I'm like, huh.
Well, here's the question: did they start cutting it after you cut it, really quickly?
Soon after, yeah,
Okay,
soon after.
because you you might not have this instinctually ingrained yet. You will as you get older. It's
Hmm.
not about marriage. It's not about, it's about home ownership really. But if someone within, not necessarily the yard touching you or right across the street, but like within one of that, if you hear that mower going, you have 24 hours before you have to respond and cut your grass.
It is time. You're right. It does make sense. It does make sense.
It's it's just an instinctual thing I think that men have for cutting the grass. It's just like how we could walk up to the correct urinal at any given time. It's
Oh,
not a
for sure.
hard thought. It's just you just do it.
You just know. You just
You
know.
just know. You just know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's hard keeping a straight face through some of this sometimes. But hey, while we're here, the fitness topic tonight is grip.
Hmm.
Because yeah, they're those big meaty paws. More importantly, these forearms. These just big old forearms. Once again, you have better. I mean,
It's all about angles, bro. Like, look at this. This. Look at the freaking forearm size.
well,
And
okay.
then you
I
just
mean, hold on. Let me play with my lighting here. Let me get it lower.
bro, those are huge forearms.
It's.
Yeah.
Whoop, let me get the light back up so you can see me. Okay.
But then you do this, and you're like, oh, they're gone.
So
Where are
tiny. I
they?
know.
You know, I mean, holy crap! Look at the size of that thing.
That's why whenever you like, I love the lazy. If you're strong and you want to flex in a picture, like, I mean, like, just like you're taking a picture of somebody or like you're in a picture and you want to look strong, like I'm strong. You're not doing this. You're not doing the double bias. You're just doing the forearm out.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
put your arms in front of you.
No, no,
Do
not even
that.
that. It's just the one. You just need the one because like you do it the right
Oh,
way.
I
It's
mean,
that's
yes,
the
yes, yes,
casual eye lift pose.
yes. That's right. That's right. And you out angle them a little bit. You go this way. Do that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a little bit. But the reason why is because if everything goes right, you know what? Yeah, everything will go right. I'm have faith in it. On the other side of this podcast, we'll be talking Bretonnians. Oh, wow, that's
Ooh, I can see that so clearly.
yeah. No, whoa, whoa, wait.
There it is.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
sort of see it.
Yeah.
Okay. We know what it
And if you are a mighty knight of the realm, like yeah, you need some core, you need some legs to hold on to the horse and to keep that balance. But really, the horse is going to do the horse's job. All right, you need to have that strong wrist to hold that shield heavy, that
is.
heavy shield
Absolutely.
hold that, and then the lance. You need to hold that in the right position to just strike your foe. And
Hmm.
whenever the lady offers you that holy grail cup, you better have those strong forearms to support it because that's the
That's
weight of
right.
the world in your hands right there. All right.
Absolutely. Gotta have a strong grip, strong forearms to hold those rein, the shield, the lance, the lady's grail in the hand. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get a better grip and bigger forearms?
Well, I mean, there's multiple ways. I think we'll just talk about our favorite exercises. I don't know if this is stuff that you do on top of your current workout. I'd say I don't, unless you're doing grip competitions or you just really want to have a strong grip. You just throw one or two of these in at the end of each workout session. They're short, they're easy, and grip. You can't really. You're not going to hurt yourself. Like when your grip gives out, your grip gives out. You just don't pick it up anymore. And it yeah. We're gonna start with my favorite.
Sure.
And I taught it to you, and you really liked it too, and you crushed it every time you did it. But go get, I would say start with 20s, 25s, no more than 35s, depending on how strong you are with your current grip. Just get two dumbbells with that. Then you grab the tea towels, like those little small, maybe 1 by 1 towels that you have, or the towel that you get when you go into the gym to clean the equipment when you're done with it, and you wrap that around the handle tight.
Mm.
Not, it's not super tight, but no matter how tight you wrap it, it's not going to be super tight. So what you have is like you essentially make fat grip dumbbells that are really hard to hold because no matter how hard you squeeze, there's still more give in it because it's a towel.
Absolutely.
And you take those and you just do farmer's walks with them. You go, all right, like usually, depending on how big your gym is, take a lap around just the floor of the gym with them. And you don't want to be like dying and they're barely in your hands
Sure.
until like the last few feet. So like kind of play with it. If you feel it start slipping, just cut early and go back and then take longer walks each time and a couple sets of those. That's my favorite and saw big
Yeah.
results from those every time I've done that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I would say farmers walks or even farmers holds, right? If you don't have the space to walk, if you have like a small home gym, it's great for grip because you literally just are holding weight for as long as you can, right? Typically, you give out farmers walks not because you can't walk anymore,
Yeah.
because you cannot hold the weight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I would say what you're talking about is the next natural progression, right? Well, I can use the tiny grips, curl grips that I have on the dumbbells, or I could make it very challenging and add a towel or a fat grip. So yeah, totally agree with you. You can make a full workout out of it and just do like done that before where I did farmers walks for 1,000 steps,
Yeah.
and just take as many breaks as you need, and you do 1,000 steps.
Yeah, and what I like about the tea towel wrapping too is just because if you can't do a certain weight, do a lighter weight.
Yeah,
Because just something about that way you have to hold that towel just really ramps it up to good effect. But what about you? What's one of your
yeah. So I mean,
favorite grip exercises?
sure. So I don't. I wouldn't say I train grip, right? Because I primarily train for overall strength
You train
and
aesthetics, don't lie.
aesthetics. I mean, I do like it feels nice being strong, right?
Oh,
We're
I mean,
going
you're
for
gonna be strong with aesthetics too. A lot, yeah.
oh yeah. Building muscle is going to increase strength. I would say I train for balance of both. However, if I were to choose one of the best exercises for grip, I would say deadlifts.
Yep.
Right? Simple as that. I've been intentionally trying to only use lately, at least, for probably the last 6 months, any kind of deadlift movement. Use straps only when my grip starts to give out, not right away. Right? You can, if you want, never use straps with deadlifts. For most people, I would say your grip will give out before your legs will,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if your goal is strength and building muscle, you probably want to use them at some point, most likely, or just train the grip.
Yeah, and we're talking to just natural grip, not a mixed grip. Like
Exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
mixed grip is a good solution as well. But I'm talking about overhand grip. Mixed grip, you have to rotate it and change it back and forth. And yeah,
well, you don't
but yeah,
have to. It's just there's risk of bicep tears if you're doing it, but it's like, what are you doing it for? But like, hey, if you're training to deadlift raw, you might have to. At some point, you're gonna have to because the hand's
right,
gonna hold so much.
right, exactly. Yeah, use the straps or the mixed grip or the I always forget the name of it. Not the suicide, but the hook grip.
Oh, hook grip. Oh God, no. My time in CrossFit. No, God, no. That's. I mean, you
But yeah, I would
can,
say
but
raw deadlifts, maybe some chalk, but definitely a good way to train your grip
yeah,
strength.
I would say too, if you can deadlift 315 easily, and you really want to focus the grip on the deadlift with just a natural grip, chalk and put it at 225 and just go.
Mm.
Just
Do
sets
for reps.
sets a 10 for reps,
Yeah, it's a
and
good idea.
that'll help quite a bit. Plus, you're also getting extra deadlift work in without being too taxing on yourself.
Right. And then once again, your grip will likely give out before your legs will, so it won't be like you said, it won't be too taxing.
Right, and two, like if you like, my grip gives out around 335 right now because I haven't been
Mm.
training it too hard. But what I can do is I can get the 3 reps, but it's like I do one down, kind of reset, go.
Mm.
Like I can't do 3 touch and goes with 335 right now. But like reset, so I'm still picking up that weight. It's just you take that moment, reset it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, it's fun. Um, Another good grip exercise. It's actually not even an exercise. And this isn't one you do at the end of the workout. You do it at the entire workout.
Okay.
Uh, so I heard it from his name is Brian Ausru. I'll
Mm.
try and find his channel, put it on there.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but And it does work if you want to just get like some strength gains in your grip. But just find an awkward implement, or just find like a 35-pound plate. No one really uses those anyway. But like if you have if your gym has like a blob, which is like half of a dumbbell because it broke in half, or just something
Oh,
heavy,
sure.
something moderately to heavy that you can walk around with comfortably, and whenever you're not doing your work, pick it up. Just alternate hands. Like, oh, I gotta go get a drink of water. Take it with you. Oh, I'm gonna walk to the next machine. Take it with you, because it's just a little bit of extra work continuous through the movement, and over the days and the years, you'll accumulate a lot more strength gains just from carrying that thing around. And to be fair, I should get back to it, but you can do it just when you're around your house.
Hmm.
You can do it
Yeah,
anytime.
absolutely.
And if you like, say, hey, Alex, you and I go down to the farmer's market. We're walking down the farmer's market, and someone says like, why do you have half a dumbbell? Well, you have half a dumbbell. You can hit them in the head with it if they're really going to question you any farther.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. I think the fact that you're recommending picking odd shaped objects is also a very good idea. But yeah, I mean, just a simple plate pinch, right, and just seeing how long you can hold it. Like you can make it just a fun thing, like you said, just like literally in between sets. You don't do it to failure; you just practice it, which is a fantastic way to do it. Or if you want to structure it and make it more rigid, you could do different plates and start with a lighter plate, try to get it for 30 seconds, a minute. If you can do it for 30 seconds, go to a heavier plate, go to a heavier plate. So I've honestly never done that because I don't train grip. It's not that important for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to train your grip, plate pinches and then going heavier for a longer time.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many different types of grip strength too. Like, there's pinch strength, there's crush
Hmm.
strength. Like,
Hmm.
you're always training it no matter what you do. It's so. But yeah, what's another way that you think to train grip that you like?
Yeah, so another way that just naturally happens in my training is any kind of overhand exercise, right? Especially, no, okay, let's go back. Any type of bicep overhand exercise,
Okay.
right? So if you grab an easy bar and you do overhand curl, your grip by the end of it, you're going to feel your forearms,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because even if your biceps give out first, you're going to feel your forearms. A lot of times with those movements, actually my forearms start giving out or burning much sooner than my biceps do. So any kind of overhand grip, thumb over, right, not under, so thumb over, and that requires you to hold the weight. If you do it correctly, it can be a very good way to both do the biceps and the forearm training.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because I noticed most times, like if you're looking at grip strength stuff too, like you're always focused on training the thumb because the thumb is what gives out first. It's 1 versus 4, so
Mhm.
it's almost always going to fail first. But like just having that extra little bit to like give that extra push, because especially if you're going to do a hook grip, that's how you keep it in.
Absolutely.
So I like that, just focusing on just like these digits, not the thumbs.
Exactly. And that's something you don't even have to, like, it's not a specific grip training. It's something you're already going to be doing. You're going to be doing bicep curls, but just go ahead and do an overhand grip with a thumb over, and this will train your grip as well.
All right. Well, I think one of the last things I would like to mention, it's something I have never done, but I always wanted to try it. And I think you and should try it at some point, especially whenever you get to be regularly set at like 200-ish pounds with your
Okay.
with your
Okay.
with your casual body weight.
That's for
We
sure.
we need to go do climbing.
Oh, yeah. I was not expecting that. That's very, very good.
I mean,
Hmm.
any climber that climbs regularly has immense grip strength. Like it's ridiculously
Wow.
crazy. Um,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, because you're pulling up your body weight over and over and over again. Like I said, I think it'd be fun, and it would be one of those things that we post up, and we would be humbled so fast because, especially like I said, that's why I want you to wait till you're comfortably at
Sure.
200-pound body weight, so like
That's
closer to where I'm at. So when we're up there, we're just failing halfway through because it's just like, well, now I feel so fat.
okay, let's do that. That could be fun. When I reach peak bulk, right? So I'll probably be 205, 210 with because of all the water retention, right? Probably about 6, 7 months from now. We should do that. We should go to a rock climbing place and just rock climb for like 4 hours.
Exactly. It's gonna be. I want to be like I'm strong. I can do it, but I know we're gonna get taxed so
Oh
quickly.
yeah. I don't know how many levels there are, but let's say if there's 10 levels, we might be able to do level two, maybe.
Well, okay, so usually, because I watch a lot of rock climbing videos of like, because they're
Oh, you do?
entertaining.
Okay.
Um, so there's usually the V system. So I think
Hmm.
uh, V0, which is like what we do, basic entry level, and it goes up
Sure.
to like, I think V10 is where it was at, but it goes past V10 now. Like you and
Okay.
I think you and I, if we could get V5, would be over the moon. Would be a good challenge
Yeah.
set. Yeah, because they ramp up pretty quick from my knowledge of it. If you're a climber, let us know down below too. Like, what do you think we could do?
Yeah.
And don't be
Every,
afraid to tell us like V3. Don't overshoot, boys.
maybe I'll tell Maxine to watch this video and see because she climbs.
Oh yeah, Maxine also plays 40K, but she also does.
Yeah,
Maxine
Maxine.
also climbs. Is what it. I'll put
Yes.
her climbing. I'll put both down in the
Yeah,
thing.
she's cool, right? But she climbs and she's lean and muscular and tall, right? So
Yeah,
she has the reach. So she probably does some pretty complex ones.
right. You watch someone like her climbs and be very different from watching 5'9" me, who's just not tall, not long limbed, just going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do have one more,
Oh
and that's
yes,
something we both have done, is a variation of pull-ups or hangs,
yes.
right? So you could do hangs for time, right? Once you get to a certain time, you could always do hangs, and there's pull-up bar hangs, right? Weighted hangs, right? Or if you just do pull-ups, especially heavy pull-ups, you need to have a pretty darn strong grip.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely you do really well at those. This like even though you don't train grip, you're pretty good at like when you're doing weighted pull ups and stuff. So
Yeah, I haven't trained those for a while. I've actually been doing a lot of assisted pull-ups lately and really focusing on like really slowing down the reps. But yeah, weighted pull-ups are fun when you focus on those.
I do a fair amount of hangs at home. Cause like like just like I have the older style basement, so like my ceiling's like I can touch it from where I'm sitting
Great.
right now. But there's that beam across, so I'll just do like hangs like this off of it. Um, Not necessarily for grip, but just to help stretch out my back. Like
Yeah,
you feel like the pops and everything because I'm old, and I'll be dead in 2 years. No, I'm kidding.
you won't be. You
I
won't.
know I'll be 40, but that's fine. I don't feel
Yeah,
like that's dead.
you're fit and healthy. How old are you now?
38.
Yeah, which is wild because I always, for some reason, you're always in my mind in early 30s.
Yeah, I every once in a while I have to catch you. I'm just like Alex, I'm old, and you're just like, oh
Yep.
yeah,
That's,
okay.
yeah. But yeah, the thing is, but because you're fit and healthy, you take care of your sleep, health, mental health, stress, exercise,
Yeah,
diet.
I feel much younger than I am, and it's very rare that something pops up. Then like it's like that, I have to tell you like Alex, I'm feeling old right now. Like
Right,
you have
right,
to let me go.
right.
Um,
So,
but no, but yeah, just hangs. They just one they feel good. They do stretch out your back. You just relax, but
mhm,
it also helps train grip. So it's fun.
absolutely. Very good.
Well, I mean that covers a good amount of grip strength. Plenty of exercises to do amongst it. Yeah, go get it. Go get the
Okay.
big forearms. Let's go. Um, so as we wrap up here, Alex, I have to ask: any hobby lately, or do you want to give a brief rundown of the event you went to?
Oh, yes. Yes, I will do that because there's zero hobby.
Zero hobby. Okay.
I was really motivated to get some hobby done before this call, and then life happened. I'll tell you after the call what happened, which is
Sure.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Life happened for the positive, and I just didn't have time. However, yes, I went to a first Age of Sigmar event. We ended up playing 4 games. My friend and I, Ben, we actually ended up skipping game 4 to go to church. It did not work out time wise, but I did end up playing 4 games. Won 3, lost 1, and it was a pretty good experience. I'm really liking the new edition. There are some rules that just I don't think are going to be utilized a whole lot. I think every edition has those, but overall, I think it's a wonderful system, and I'm very excited to play more rats.
Yeah. After that, you came over and we got a full game in finally, and it was a teaching game. I still take the loss. I'll still take that L, but it was nice because I was declaring what I was doing very
Mhm.
openly, and even though it's like yeah, very clearly this is how you could stop it if you were being smart about it, but you would do the less smart choice just so we could see how this would happen and experience the game. So I really enjoyed my first game of Sigmar 4.0, mostly
Good.
because I'm at the stage where I'm like I don't know anything, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, it's cool to learn, and there's some tips and tricks, and it plays similarly, but it does feel different, quite different at the same time, right? A lot of things we're used to, we have to rethink now.
Right, right. And actually, I'll spoil it here a little bit. Some of my hobby. I took all my old metal witch elves that were on circles,
Mhm.
put them back
Yes.
on squares, so they're all of my fantasy army. Don't get me wrong, I still have uh, 70 witch elves well, 60 plastic, 10 resin, and then 60 Sisters of Slaughter. But I was like, you know what? I might want 2 units of 20 of the double bladed witch elves now. So I went and got this.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of
Of
course
course
you
you
did.
did.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. But I don't need to rush to paint it. But it's fun. Always nice to have a little dock on standby there.
You will never stop painting witch elves. I think 10 years from now, you'll still be painting witch elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Actually, if you know any alternate sculpts of witch elves besides Raging Heroes, that's the one I've used already. Let me know in the comments because I would love to see them.
Yep, please let him know.
Yep.
He always needs more.
Yes, well, I'm glad you like an Age of Sigmar 4.0. We should figure out some sort of topic around like the general feeling, maybe like a longer form episode where I have you and Neil on. We talk some Sigmar 4.0, but that's for later because I have to go to the other side of this and talk about the lady,
which we can definitely see. Somehow the Vanguard box we could see, but not.
I don't. It's maybe because it's physical models versus like the art. The art wants to blur quicker for some reason. Maybe. Now let's check this one. Yep, blur.
Yep.
And it's in front of my face too. That's the weird part. Because usually if you put it in front of your face.
Wow. Well, whatever blur function is, it works excellently.
Thanks, Google, for whatever you're doing. I guess. How about my LaCroix can? Yep, blur. Okay. Anyway, Alex, it's nice talking to you.
Hey,
yeah,
wait, mine is not blurred. I'm not a blur Vanguard. I'm an idiot. It's all right. It's not blurred. Like, hey, let's see if this works.
See if you're blurred. You're not blurred.
I got this cool sticker. Pretty dope.
It's a good sticker. I have it. There.
Yeah.
I think it's there. Yeah.
Not see that.
Well, that's supposed to be blurred. That's fine. I don't have that sticker, but that was your first one, and you only had so many, and that was an expensive one. So.
Yeah.
All right, Alex.
Very good.
We will catch you in a couple weeks' time for the next episode.
See you guys.
All right, and I'm back, and not with the one, the only Neil Araka. We got the Might Hammer himself. This is the strongest Strength Hammer episode we've ever had with Alex, myself, and you, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've had some other strong people on, but like this is 3 strong people on there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, dude. Yep. Yeah. So, just to introduce myself really quick, because Neil's not here. I am part of the Tale of 4 Warlords, with Neil, a good friend of mine, Terry, and Chuck, of course. And yes, I am very strong. I might not look like it, but we had a liftoff a few years back, and yours truly right here ended up winning it. But I probably won't win it anytime soon because I'm 41 years old in 2 weeks, and Chuck and Alex are both young bucks. So
I'm 38.
Well, you're still 3 years. Trust me, man. When you hit 40. You hit 40, you like literally fall off a cliff. Actually, it's crazy.
It's funny. I was talking about old age, even though I'm only 38, to Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Literally right before, like I'm recording these back to back, so this actually is a good segue from one to the other.
Right.
No, that's good.
That's pretty funny though.
You're strong as hell, dude, and it's fun. Yeah. Also, Might Hammer over on Instagram. I'll put a link to your stuff below, obviously. So go check Mike out for that.
Yeah.
But Mike
got some okay stuff on there,
Yeah, I mean, got some solid lifts, got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful painter.
Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely love the paint jobs.
I appreciate it, man.
So real quick, before we dive into our love of Bretonnia, since we're both doing that army right now, give me like a brief rundown of like just your Warhammer history. Like, when did you pick it up? What game systems have you played?
Okay, brief Warhammer history. So, I am from Ohio, right? Chuck is from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I have family that lives in Pennsylvania, and when I was younger, I used to watch them play Warhammer, the original Warhammer fantasy games, right? And I would visit, and they lived right outside Pittsburgh. I would visit them all the time every summer for a few weeks, and I would just sit there and watch my older cousin, he's about 5 years older than me, play Warhammer, and I was enthralled with it, right? Everything about it, the aesthetics, the lore, the background, the art. When I was looking at his books, his army books and all that, it really drew me in. And then I kind of stop visiting, of course, the older you get, the kind of more you're independent than you usually are. So I kind of got away from the hobby, and it was in the back of my mind. Yes, I played the old Warhammer games on, I believe it was Sega, or I forget what it was,
there's
man.
PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, the
as people
PlayStation One games. Yes. So I own those, and I absolutely love them. Right, so I played it all the time. Of course, the Total War Warhammer games I love, but when I got away from the hobby of watching my cousins play, I got into Got Rick and Felix, and I've read every single one of their novels, and I'm a huge dwarf fan just from The Hobbit growing up, and that kind of leads into me moving up to Cleveland because I'm from Akron. I get to Cleveland, and I know a few people, right, but I wanted to kind of branch out and meet people that I normally wouldn't meet on a consistent basis, right? So I was like, Warhammer literally just popped in my head one day. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to check this out. The weird thing is I went to the GW's website and I looked up Warhammer Fantasy, and there was nothing there. There was this thing called Age of Sigmar, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And this was kind of, YouTube's been out for a long time, but you still didn't have a lot of the channels that you have now. So I was looking up Age of Sigmar. There wasn't really much out there. There was nobody explaining what happened, that they killed it, right? Because I didn't know anybody that was in the hobby to explain that to me. So I went to our local games workshop with the intent of buying a dwarven army, right, for Warhammer Fantasy in specific. And I get down there, and the owner, Bill, was like, no, Warhammer Fantasy isn't a thing anymore. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we have this new cool game that has one page of rules. It's called Age of Sigmar. You should check it out. And that really threw me off because I've always been a 40K fan as well. I mean, I really love, the 30K series of books. I've read a lot of the Horus Heresy. So it drew me into wanting to maybe possibly pivot to 40K, but I didn't. I bought Fire Slayers for my first army, and Bill ended up talking me into actually not talking me into it. He's just like, hey, this is a new army that came out. You should check them out. You'd probably like them because you like Slayers, because I told him about Got Rick and Felix, and bam, bought my first army. I get all the directions from him on how to paint, and I don't know, man. Painting just immediately took to me. I just don't know. I can't explain it. It just happened. And it was funny because I built and painted my first 2,000 points sub-assembly because I didn't know any better, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I have like a head that's just primed, and I'm painting the head, and then I have the,
Oh,
so
boy.
I go through this.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, man. Because I'm like, you have to have every bit of the model painted. Little I know, that's not really how you paint. And you can't paint like that, right? But I wanted to be thorough with my first army, and I take it down to the local games workshop, and all the local guys that come down there all the time are just like looking at me. They're like, so, where are you from? Akron? Oh yeah, how many armies have you painted? How long have you been playing? I was like, oh, this is my first army I've ever painted. I've never played. And they're like looking at me dumbfounded. I didn't understand because I thought everybody, was either going to be better
than
average
on painting.
Yeah, I really did. And I come to find out I did a hell of a job with that first paint job, which I still play that army till today, and I get compliments on it all the time.
Yep.
Yep. And so Age of Sigmar was my first love. I went down there. I got absolutely stomped my first game ever.
As you do.
Because I didn't know the rules, didn't know, of course I forgot the synergies and all that good stuff. But I absolutely loved being around people, being there and being able to heckle people back and forth, and, just the camaraderie of the war. The war game scene itself is very unique, right? Because you don't get there's no other medium out there like it, where people that love the lore, there's a background, there's strategy, there's, camaraderie, there's all that built into one, and it instantly drew me in because I played sports growing up, right? So I'm a very competitive person. I wouldn't say ultra competitive, right? I'm not going to math hammer somebody, but I just loved it, man. And then it just kind of grew from there, and I wouldn't be friends with you if it wasn't for my cousins back in the day playing Warhammer in Pennsylvania. I wouldn't be best friends with Terry. I wouldn't have my job right now that Terry got me. It's kind of weird how
There's something
certain
special about
pathways.
the Warhammer hobby, wargaming hobby, that very
Absolutely.
few other hobbies have that capability, because just like the amount of effort we put in. Like, even if I had never met you, if we ran into each other and we played Warhammer and I saw your painted armies, it'd be like, oh man, this guy cares.
Yeah,
You know, he
absolutely.
painted an army, and like, oh, by the way, he's actually a great painter. So let me ask him for some tips. Like, it's exciting too.
And you know what parallels that?
What?
Lifting,
Oh
lifting
yeah.
weights. 100% parallels that. It's kind of a similar thing, you know. It's a niche because not everybody lifts weights, right?
Yeah.
I mean, me, you, and Alex are probably in the top 5% of the whole world. It is, I mean, that's me being honest
Yeah.
as far as weightlifting is concerned.
Yeah.
You know, because not everybody does it, so it is niche, as this, you know, in the same way as wargaming is. But it's a great community to be a part of. You meet people that you would never meet before. You get to give tips to people. So,
And
you know, I'm
everyone's
right.
so friendly, and they can tell. Like I said, and they can tell. You know, they walk up, they can be like, "Yeah, okay, you take care of yourself, so you understand what
100%.
I go through too. Like, you know, you understand the pain of painting an army, just like you understand the pain of, you know, trying to increase your deadlift by like 50 pounds."
Right. Or, you know, hitting your 1 rep max on a deadlift or back squat, whatever it may be. Absolutely, man. But yeah, I love the Warhammer hobby. That's my story. I mean, I joined the Ren group, which I don't know, you know, some of the people listening right now and watching, they know of the Ren group, and
Yeah, Ren 4.
and
Yep.
it's
Over and above.
yeah, yep, the Ren 4 group, and it's been a blast, man, and I just can't wait to see what the future brings with just the group of friends we have now. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And then whenever Old World came out, I saw you immediately just like Bretonnia.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, you're
Oh
just
yeah.
like you we all knew you were gonna do dwarves eventually, but you're like, I'm buying this box set and I'm doing this right now.
hmm Yep, it drew me in. You know, maybe segue into why I picked Bretonia
Yeah.
is, um, you know, it's just the aesthetic, right? The background. You know, I joke a lot. You know, America's number one. I love America. You know, France down with France, whatever. But
All the jokes.
with that being said, you know, I love the way that they kind of incorporated the Knights of the Round Table kind of lore and aesthetic into an army itself. I love. I'm a very chivalrous person, right? I'm very, you know, it might not seem like it, but I'm very stoic outside of, you know, me being around my friends, and I really kind of, I don't know, held on to that when I started reading more about Bretonnia because it never really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Knight on Pegasus, right?
The new royal, the new royal.
The new Royal Pegasus, and I was like, I have to do it. That's my army. As soon as it's what drew me in, and then as soon as I started reading the lore and, you know, finding out about the Lady of the Lake and just all the rich background that Bretonnia has, I mean, it's up there with one of my favorite armies now.
I Even though I never played Bretonnia until Old World, one of my favorite series from just like fantasy setting, it was a Bretonian where it starts out as Errant Knight, and I think it's Questing Knight and Knight of the Realm. I forget what the order is, but it's a trilogy, and you follow like the same guy's path, and it is phenomenal.
Well, yeah, because you start. I mean, at Knight's Errant, you're just like you know, just a peon, right? I mean, you're not
You're a
a
noble
peasant.
who has a horse.
Right. That's basically it. You know, there's a little nepotism there, right? You've probably given that money or whatever it may be, but then you work your way up, you know, to Knight of the Realm, and then you go to a questing knight, and then
Yep. A Grail
you
Knight
know,
at the end, I guess.
Grail Knight. Yep.
It's fine.
So
Yeah, and for me, it was it's gonna be blurry because that's what it was probably. But it was this gal right here, Lady Elise. When I saw that model, I knew I was gonna buy the Tomb Kings because I had Tomb Kings. So I was like, I'll buy that box set, grow my army a little bit. Then as soon as I saw that model, I'm like, okay, I'm buying the Bretonnian box set too.
oh my God, I
Granted,
know. As soon as I saw that model, I'm with you.
I can't wait till it comes back in stock because it sold out way too quick.
Yes, if anybody out there is listening and they want to sell theirs, please let me or Chuck know because
We'll take it.
I would absolutely love to paint that model. I mean, and I think that I can get close to the box art on that, and that would be a model that I would take.
Oh yeah.
Just take my time on. You know, it's not going to be something I'm going to breeze through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait till it's in stock. So. whenever that is.
But with that said, I mean, two Bretonnian lovers here. We're gonna do like our own type of review of the Arcane Journal, specifically of the army itself, I should say, because over here at the Strength Hammer podcast, we're not reviewing every single army. We're going to review them as we get these Arcane Journals, because then we get the complete picture of what it looks like. So, obviously, the Dwarf one will be coming out soon, and then, Mike, maybe we'll have you back on, because we'll see. Because
even though I'm not building the army, I'm going to buy the book.
Well, it's funny, because I think if I brought you on and we had Matt, because he plays Dwarfs as well, like he has an army, I think that's three very different perspectives. I think we'll all...
I'd be all for that.
We'll talk afterwards, but I think the three of us all have very different parts of the dwarf culture we like. You like the Slayers, he likes the standard dwarves, I like the engineers. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's all 3 parts of a dwarven army right there.
Yeah. So that might be what we'll do. But for now, Bretonnia, general high level thoughts. We have the Arcane Journal, we have the basic army rules. What's your overall thoughts of the army? Like, just to give a quick, we're not reading every page by page, but just a quick reminder.
I mean,
the core
they're
army,
fast.
Core army.
Yeah.
50%. You can have 0 to 1 Duke, 0 to 1 Baron or Prophetess per 1,000 points, and then any Paladins, Damsels, Sergeant Arms. Your core is going to be Knights of the Realm on foot, or Mounted Knights of the Realm, Men at Arms, and then you can have Knights Errants for every of those other ones you have that's noble. Then obviously Squire, Questing Knights, Pegasus Knights, Mounted Yeomen, Battle Programs and Special, Rares, Grail Knights, Trebuchet, and that's the core list, not the special ones, which we'll touch upon those a little bit later. But that's a general how you build this army. So what's your high level thoughts on Bretonnia as it stands as a complete army right now?
I would say they're very well rounded. They don't really have a ton of weaknesses on their end. I mean, I guess you could say that the Men at Arms and the Peasant Bowmen might be weak links, but they have their role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they do play a pivotal role, and I like to bring them. I bring 2 units of 18 usually of the Men at Arms, and I bring 24 Peasant Bowmen, and I stack them up. I put of course Men at Arms in front of the Bowmen and try to get some shots off, but they are fodder, right? So they kind of are a bump in the road for any army that's out there, right? But you can tie some people up sometimes, which is a nice thing. But I think the bread and butter for the core units, me personally, is the Mounted Knights of the Realm, right? I mean, they're fast, they hit hard, they're very versatile. There's a lot you can do with them. You have the counter charge that goes with them, and there's some awesome.
And just the lance formation in and of itself is a great thing.
Absolutely. I mean, 100% agree. But I would say that's like the bread and butter. I've never ran Knights Errant before, so I'm not really too well versed with those guys, just because I just don't play with them, at least for right now. But yeah, the Knights of the Realm, as far as the base units, that's the Bretonnian bread and butter, which it should be, right? I mean, we're talking about Bretonnia here, so.
Well, it's interesting because I'm more of a fan of peasants than most Bretonnian players. I know there's a lot of Bretonnian players out there that, especially with the Arcane Journal, they'll do what's it called? Not the Errantry Crusade, so they can just be all knights on horseback and just go to town with that.
Right.
Actually,
the blessings of the lady. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
it's an awesome ward save to have, and it's that just kind of ties into the what I love about Bretonnia is you're being blessed. Yes, you give somebody what I believe is first turn, right?
Yeah,
they get to go first, right?
I will read this since it's pretty pivotal to it.
Okay, yeah.
Once deployment's complete, instead of rolling off to determine which player takes first turn, the Kingdom of Bretonnia army may kneel and pray for the blessing of the lady. If it does so, the opposing player counts as having won the roll-off, and the lady's blessing is granted, giving all models in the Kingdom of Bretonnia army the special rule of 6+ ward against wounds suffered, and a 5+ if it's strength 5 or higher.
I mean, how freaking awesome is that?
Right, and you can lose the blessing based upon certain things going on. Essentially, don't run, don't be a coward.
Right.
What would make sense? And that's a super cool thing, and it kind of helps too, because if you're playing Bretonnia, and that's one of your optional, I think only the what's sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the other one. Not the Errantry Crusade. It's the other one. The Exiles. I think they don't get access to the Lady
They don't.
Knight's Blessing. They're
Yeah,
the only
they
one.
don't.
So
Yeah.
if you're not playing the Exiles, you're going second because you want that
Right.
buff 100% of the time.
Right. The Exiles are. I might play them one day just to see what it's like. Seems like a fun list to play, but I'm all about aesthetics, and the Exiles, they're not all together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as color scheme wise, so if I ever played them, I'd have to just have a completely different army, just painted up in different weird colors and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, the core units, like I said, you like, or like I said, I like the my own Knights of the Realm. You like the
Peasant
the
Bowman.
peasant. Yeah. So I mean, and there's a lot that you could take, with the modern Knights of the Realm. I mean, I like there's a few things I like to take.
What's
I mean,
some of your ways to kit out the Knights of the Realm if you're going to take them that way?
So I throw the Obsidian Lodestone on them.
Okay.
So what the Obsidian Lodestone is basically it has magic resistance of -1. A model that bears 2 magic resistance will get -2, and a model that bears 3 has a resistance of 3. And you could take more than one Obsidian Lodestone. I believe you can. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong on that. I think it's a potion, but I think it's imperative to have magic resistance. On the knights themselves. I mean, they're all over the board, right? They're going to run into somebody that's they're going to run into a magic wielder, right? So that's one of the things I like to load. I'll tell you the other thing that I like to put on too. But
why you bring that up, because with knights, the thing is you want to win the combat you're charging into. That's why counter charge is so strong, because if you get charged, you can counter charge and still get your lance bonuses, because you never want to get stuck in a situation where you've lost that charge bonus, and all of a sudden you're swinging on strength 3, maybe strength 4 if it was a Grail Knights. I think they go up higher strength, but then you're just you're swinging at the same strength and initiative as your horses pretty much, and most other things in the game except for humans are going to be better at you than some way just naturally.
Right, 100%. Another thing I like to bring, as far as the standards, is I believe it's the Banner of Shalons. Mm-hmm. So enemy units can't declare a standard shoot charge reaction against units carrying this banner, which is huge.
So strong.
It is.
When we talk dwarves, that's going to be the thing we hate. Oh, I'm going to charge your Iron Drakes with this banner of screw you.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do nothing about it. Right. I mean, there's a lot of good things that you could do with the standards that they bring. I believe the other standard is Banner of Honorable Warfare, which is a unit carrying a Banner of Honorable Warfare must re-roll any failed rolls to hit made during the first round of combat when engaged with. So that's the first round of combat. So if you think about it, if you are praying to the lady, they're going to move up the board first. They may move into charging range. You're going to be able to re-roll hits in that first turn.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another powerful one that I like to take, with that particular unit.
I will say there is one weakness to the Knights, even with the Lance formation, that I discovered in a game against a friend over here, Mark. And he did an Errantry Crusade, and I had my High Elves. And I was just waiting. His wall was coming in. I charged, counter-charging, all that stuff was happening. But essentially, I charged in, he counter-charged everything. So there was 4 units of Knights of various levels all across the board. And I had 5 Dragon Princes. It was my turn. I made it was a long bomb charge. It wasn't like a guarantee. Hit the flank. They swung the combat. Now, granted, you can't overrun. You can only overrun and fight one extra time now.
Right.
That still crushed 2 units. Because the amount of damage they did, paired with just the other unit being able to at least do something, meant I routed half his army. So, what I will say is watch your flanks if you're running mostly Knights. Mm-hmm. If your opponent has something that can do something like that. If they have their own Knight unit, and say it was just 5 Dragon Princes, and it wrecked hard. So
I'm sure Mark wasn't happy about that either.
Oh, it was one of those games where it's just you can't help but just enjoy it, because it was maddening, and I'm just we're both laughing, but But yeah, knights are great. I'm actually going to be trying out the errant knights, which are like the lesser knights.
Okay.
Just
Which
more,
kind of goes
theme.
with your theme.
Yeah, it's more for theme. Actually, I did look. I was running 2 units of errantry knights, and I didn't have any Knights of the Realm, so I was like, oh, dang it. So I actually had to snip the heads off of one of my errantry knights and put on the Knights of the Realm helmets. I'm like, okay, I guess one unit has to be this. That's fine. But I gave them all helmets that would match the forests. We can talk about this too a little bit. But like, I'll talk about. I'll do that explanation later. We can talk about where our armies are from.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see. Let me bring up the errantry knights. Knights errant. Weapon skill 3. Who cares about ballistic skill? Strength 3, toughness 3. Mountain Knights of the Realm. Weapon skill 4. So higher weapon skill, which makes sense. And more options for unit upgrades, and I think you get more points for banners too. Actually, no, both are 25 points, so that's fine. But
yeah. Yep.
But so that weapon skill is going to be pretty nice. For
absolutely
5 points more a model.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No,
not bad at all.
Now,
yeah, I'll have to run them at some point, but yeah, right now it's the Mountain Knights of the Realm for sure.
Now, okay, so we know we errantry knights, Knights of the Realm, they're all great for the core. You and I both have this kit actually, and we're both in the same boat. Yeah, I know what you're. Yeah. It's the most beautiful thing that I am not building for my army right now. What do you think about the Knights of the Realm on foot? Like it's a unique
I don't know.
thing.
I don't know what to think of them because to me it kind of goes against their lore, right? Because I mean the lore's always been knights, mountain knights, right, and peasants. There's never really been. I mean, to me, knights on foot like defeats the whole purpose. But I love the models. I got to get over that. I as far as like, what you could take with them, right? I mean, you have 3 different options. You got the hand weapons and shields, the great weapons, right? And then
shields.
Great weapons with shields. That's just an expensive unit, though.
It is. Yeah.
If you bring 20 of them, right? So
yeah,
and I don't know.
They're really cool. I don't mind knights on foot. Like I said, it doesn't fit either of our army's themes. It is nice that there's another option for core though.
100%.
They're core, and that is just phenomenal for what they are. Because weapon skill 4, like not to mention, I'm not sure if you missed. I missed this till just now. They have furious charge.
No, I knew that. Yeah.
So that's during a turn in which they made a charge of 3 or more inches, +1 to their attacks. That is insane.
Sick. That's sick.
Yeah, because
exactly.
you get a 4-inch charge off. A great weapon. So your initiative 4, but your weapon skill 4. You go against any chaff, you're wiping it without any issue. To be fair, you could do the sword and shield and probably still wipe out a decent of a chaff unit. Just from that.
Yeah, but you want the great weapons.
I do, yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna build them. They'll be in my list at some point, just because I want to see them on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Right. I think that would be awesome. But I don't know, man. I want to kit bash them with some Stormcast too.
I mean, there's plenty of bits in there. Why not do some?
There's so many bits, right? I think I'm thinking of. I've been thinking of a theme to do with that, but no, I think I'd definitely like to see them on the board, see how they play, but I just haven't been able to fit them in a list that would make sense yet.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll stick with the core just a little bit right now. What do you think about just peasants? If you had to choose the peasants, do you like men-at-arms or do you like the peasant bowmen more? Either aesthetics, playability.
I like the bowman better for playability because it gives you range. That's the one thing, but they suck at hitting though. I mean they're not the best. They're not the best archers in the game. We'll say that.
Yeah. Flaming's not as well. They had some buffs. So like right now we have FAQ. So if it's a large target, everything in the unit will shoot, and you're always bringing big units of these guys. They're so cheap.
100%. I think a whole unit of them just with the upgrades, the villain or violent, however you pronounce that, musician, standard, like I think it's like 191 points. For
24 with full upgrades, no magic banners or anything, 167 points.
167. What did I add?
You probably put on.
I put the defensive stakes and the burning braziers.
Oh, I took the
on there.
No, I have both those on.
I have light armor.
Oh, I don't have any armor.
Okay, and honestly, there's really no point in putting armor on them.
Yeah, I learned that lesson with high elves. They just you get hit, you're gonna
Yeah,
die. That's fine.
yeah, I'm gonna take that off my list
Plus,
actually.
also, those defensive stakes got a nice buff.
Oh, they are
coming up now. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So actually, they
and
it seems like they defend against fanatics.
Yes,
because it
Neil.
counts as a terrain piece and they'll just die. It's like, oh, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I like the aesthetics of them too.
Yeah.
I have the little dog.
Yep.
Defensive stakes, and I got the little what is it? The tree stump and just a bunch of random stuff just littered about because they're peasants, right? They're on the ground in the mud.
Yeah.
Of course, there's gonna be a bunch of shit sitting around them. So, I do like that part. But to go back, to the men-at-arms, they look pretty sweet too. Especially when they have that the standard bearer in the front with the. I made the musician. He has the Joker hat on, right?
Oh, I went away from that so hard. I don't like.
You don't like it?
I don't hate that look because I enjoy it in different aspects of different games. For them, I did not like it at all. I'm like, if he was part of an actual royal court, sure, but just a peasant doing it, I'm like, no, like you're getting normal helm, bro.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, I love the aesthetic as well. I mean, they're old models, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, the old models still have their charm to them, right?
Absolutely.
So they still look pretty awesome. So I'm not complaining about that. But what about you, Chuck?
Yeah, it's Bowman as well. With I get everything but light armor is how I kit them out. Running a unit 24. I'm painting men at arms right now. I think I have 36.
You're looking good, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Like they're going quicker than I thought. There's only one block, and I realized I had another command unit, so I could build I think 4 more to do another command, which I'll keep it set aside. I don't need it because I'm probably not even going to run that many because I realized in my list I don't have like many magic items across it. So and my one place to drop stuff is going to be the men at arms. So.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, men at arms are cool, but like I like peasant bowmen. They're just. That's probably what I would have been in the Warhammer world. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Let's be honest. We would be peasants for sure.
Yeah.
Emaciated and everything. So.
Well, with the core kind of talked through, let's take a look at the heroes. And I say that because I'm laughing because my made-to-order Bretonnia that I ordered back in early January or whenever it came out is finally shipped. And I'm excited to get those models that I don't even need for my army anymore.
Right, I know.
They're classics.
That's terrible.
Yeah, there's also a few
I did do the made-to-order. I kind of wish I would have done the made-to-order for the Paladin on horse because I just think that's just a cool-looking model, the one with the axe.
I didn't get the axe one. My friend got that one. I got the lance one. I do have the Paladin on horse BSB. That's coming.
Oh, you got that?
I got that.
Like the newer one?
No. It's the
the older. Okay.
The old one.
Okay. That new one. That's another one that drew me.
Yeah, that new one's
great. To the army. Oh man, I saw that when Warhammer Community did like the in depth. Yeah. Hey, this is Bretonnia, and I was like, man, that model is just. And the same one with the. I don't know if it is a paladin. He's standing on the orc's head with the sword through his head.
Yeah, I think that's a paladin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like I had to buy a second I had to buy a third Royal Pegasus to kit bash my prophetess on. So I have a nice new plastic BSB guy I could throw onto a horse as opposed to like. To be honest, I bought it because I was like, oh, I'll probably need a BSB and horse eventually. I don't really.
And
like
now you
that
don't
one.
need it.
Yeah, I don't need them. And like the pose of the banner being flat as like the horse is going this way. Just I'm like, I don't really like it.
Doesn't do it for you. Yeah.
So if you need that one, let me know. I can get that.
I will.
Yeah.
I definitely will. Yep.
But anyway, so we have we have dukes, we have barons, and we have paladins. Let's kind of start with that. Like, what do you prefer to take whenever you're?
Oh, the duke, cream of the crop.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's an absolute beat stick. I mean, and then if you bring, and I wish I could get a hippogriff model
Oh,
You
sure.
know, the old Leon Liancourt model. I love that model, but you go on eBay and it's like $250, and it's just hard for me to justify spending that much money on
Well, I mean,
a single.
you're getting some of my Stormcasters, the new Griff Charger and Prosecutors. You could kit bash maybe.
Like we talked about last time, I'm terrible at kit
That's
bashing.
fair.
Man. I have no imagination when it goes. I can't say I don't have. I've made some good kit bashes in the past, but just like being able to look at different model kits out there and then trying to figure out how to piece and part them together is just hard for me. I
Especially
don't know
like
what it is.
it's a risk on money too. What if you fuck up?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
get it.
mental block,
I hear you.
that I usually have with them. But yeah, if anybody out there rides the Hippogriff, rides in a battle with him, I mean that thing. If you put a Duke on that, it's going to be very hard to take him off the table. I mean it's just insane, how good he is.
Oh, sure.
If you stack everything else on top of what you can already give the Duke, I
Yeah,
mean
because he's
it's.
weapon skill 7, strength 5, toughness 4, wounds 4. And that's all before mounts.
Oh, I
Excuse
know
me.
exactly.
Yeah. Initiative 5 and attacks 5. Like, yeah, he is just a beast. Like, he's an auto include in my army as my general.
Right.
Like,
Oh, 100%.
I'm giving mine the Grommel Great Helm to just make him a flat 2-up. I'll give him a
Nice.
lance. Um, yeah, and then obviously the vows. We could talk about the vows too. Do you have any well, okay, outside of vows, how would you kit out your? Oh, and obviously my Duke's on a Royal Pegasus or at least a horse. So how
Okay.
would you kit bash or how would you kit yours out?
Well, I mean, of course, like I just alluded to, I mean, it would be on the Royal Pegasus, at least for now. If I ever, he's already a. If you add everything that you want, he ends up being a super expensive model. I mean, upwards of 400, between 400 and 500 points.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy how you can kit him out. Um, but if I were going to bring him on the board, he would be on a Royal Pegasus. He would have the Gromro Great Helm, of course.
Yep.
I like Serene's Locket.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I like bringing the Gauntlet of the Duel with him.
Real quick, Gauntlet of the Duel. You can't refuse a challenge. And Serene's Locket, 25 points. Models with this troop have infantry or cavalry only. The bearer is immune to multiple attacks X special rule. If the bearer is wounded by this attack special rule, they only take a single wound. So you're living forever.
Right.
And that's if they get
That's
the reason that one to me isn't always a go-to. Like the dual one, yes. That one not so much because weapon skill 7, man. That's a pretty healthy defense.
Right. And then just to add to it, I give him a potion of toughness just to throw that in there. So
sure.
I really, yeah, why not?
I give mine. Where is it at? It might be. Nope. That might be in the Arcane Journal. So I think it's the Seal of Paravon. Yeah, the Seal of Paravon.
Yeah.
That's where my army's from. I'm the Duchy of Paravon.
Which works perfect for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So he's on Royal Pegasus. When the bearer of the seal makes a roll to hit, a roll of 3+ always succeeds regardless of the toughness of weapon skill. So I'm weapon skill 7, yes, but that means this guy's going against anything, and I don't care because I'm going to charge in or countercharge. So to me, it just makes it more versatile. And I could see someone's argument like, that's a waste of points. You have weapon skill 7. Like, yeah, but there's things out there that can get the weapon skill 10, and I want to be able to just always hit them and kill them. Because usually if you have high weapon skill, your toughness is only gonna be like 3 or 4, and even if it's high, I can punch through it with what I kitted out with. But you're only gonna have a couple wounds, whereas I have a ton.
Right. And then with the Serene's Locket, I mean that's just 100%. So which virtue do you take on this guy? Which one you going with?
Let me check. Yeah, because virtue.
Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, I kind of cut you off there. What do you take? Like, what is your main kit that you take with him? Is it similar to what I have?
Yeah, Grommel Great Helm, Lance, and the Seal Paravon. If I got the points, I'll give him like, what's the heart that one lance?
Oh,
Heartwood lance. 50 points. Combat strength +3, -3 AP. Magical attacks, just because it's a nice way to get magical attacks. And like I'm strength 8 on a charge. Holy crap! Like, but like that gets pretty expensive. So that one's it's hard to fit in there all the time.
it is. It really is. Especially if you want to put a well-rounded list together, you can't just put everything in the one unit itself.
Well, outside of the Duke, I mean, obviously, like, neither one of us are taking Barons. We both take Paladins because we want that BSB.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
to be fair, I'm putting him heavy armor, shield, maybe, like I'm giving him some defense. I'll throw a lance on him just in case he might charge alongside, but really I have mine on a Royal Pegasus, so he's a target. He's just flying around to keep everybody within that command, that reroll range. That's what mine's doing more than anything else. So I kid him more defensive typically. What about you? How do you handle your
Same thing. I have the same thing. Lance, shield. I have the Grail Vow that goes with him.
Actually, yeah. Let's go through the vows real quick because that actually is fairly important. So I'll read the Knight's Vow. Do you want to read the Questing Vow after that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So Knight's Vow. Model this Chivalrous Vow does not have to take panic tests when friendly peasants' special rules are destroyed within 6, or when it fled through by friendly. So you don't care about peasants.
No.
A unit with Chivalrous Vow cannot be joined by a character with a peasantry special rule. Blah blah blah. So you want to do the Questing Vow now?
Yeah, and there's also the one that I take is the Grail Vow. That one's so.
I'll get that one after.
Yeah. Okay, so the Questing Vow is a model with the Chivalrous Vow, has the Stubborn special rule, and can reroll any failed fear, panic, or terror test, which is pretty nice for a BSB, I think, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because he is kind of a linchpin, right? So in addition to the model with the Chivalrous Vow, does not have to make a panic test when friendly units with.
They don't care about peasants,
Yep, they don't care about peasants, exactly.
And then the Grail Vow, the highest one, a model that has has immune to psychology, magical attack space, and stubborn special rule. In addition, models with the Chivalrous Vow always benefit from the Blessing of the Lady, so if you have to flee from combat or anything, you're going to keep that ward.
He just has an aura around him that doesn't let any magic get through, which is
you just cannot refuse a challenge. That's the only thing.
Right.
But you're probably not.
And he's not. Right. You're probably not going to put him in a situation where he's going to have to do that. At least you hope not.
Yeah.
Right?
Or if you do, it's you're going to put him in a situation where you know he's going to win.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I like to. What do I like to kit him out with?
Do you usually run him on a horse? I assume with a lance formation of like questing.
No. I put him on Royal Pegasus too.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
That's actually what I'm painting right now for our Tale
That's right.
Warlords.
That's right. Yep.
This is him right here. So I like to bring a potion of speed with him just because I want him to get around the map, right? So basically what the potion of speed is the bearer, during the command sub-phase of their turn, the bearer of the potion of speed can consume it. Until the end of that turn, a model has D3 modifier to its initiative characteristic.
Oh, damn, there you go.
I like to bring that along. But really quick, to go back to the Duke real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I do bring, the last thing I wanted to bring up was the Virtue, the Impetuous Knight, which I think is awesome. A model with this virtue gains Impetuous special rule. In addition, this model and its units increase its maximum possible charge range by 3. So I want to get him stuck in, right? And that kind of goes back to the Paladin, right? Getting the Duke stuck in, let the Paladin just stick back and support all the units around him, right? So, it's an awesome ability.
That's good.
100%.
Actually, my BSB, I gave him the Virtue of Discipline, so
nice.
He can march within 8 inches of enemy without having to take a leadership test. And I know it'd be very rare to fail it, but I just don't want to have to think about it. I need to put my BSB where he needs to go to keep my leadership alive. And then
nice.
Just a real quick shout out. I like the name of Virtue of Stoicism, but I don't know if I ever take it. You get to reroll.
Oh, dude, I love it.
While making break tests. Like, it's like I want to take it because it's like it's stoic.
Dude,
but
I wanted so bad when I saw that Virtue. I wanted so bad to be something that I could use just so I can bring it, because that's like you said, that's just you're stoic, man.
Yeah.
You're a knight. So I bring the virtue of purity on my side, which is a model with a virtue always finds from the blessing of the lady special rule and always has a 5-up ward save, even if the model's army did not pray at the start of the game. So if you don't have the blessing and you're running the what is it? The can't think of what realm or not realm, but
the exiles.
Yeah, the exile. If you run the exiles, then that's something good to take.
Or even if
on.
you went into a combat and had to flee and lost you still get that.
Or
5
that.
Up. Yeah.
100%. Or that. Yep, absolutely.
Well, with those out of the way, I mean, there's the handmaidens, obviously. So there's the prophetess or the damsel. So if you want to level 3 or 4 or 1 or 2, let's be honest with this game. We're taking a prophetess because we want a 4.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah, this game's just
the one thing that I've learned. Yeah, the one thing I've learned, you have to take a magic wielder, right?
Yep.
It's basically an auto include in every army that you have.
Yeah, it's nice. They all have magical resist too. They have the shield of the lady, so they can essentially hide in units and can be near. It's just they can be in the mix of combat, but be safe from challenges and other stuff like that.
Right.
Essentially. It is nice that they'll give the magical attacks to the unit they're with. Granted, I put mine on a Royal Pegasus for my theme, so that's not helping much.
That thing is so sick, too. I love that model.
I'm excited. So they can take Battle Magic, Elementalism, and Illusion, and plus there's also the Lure of the Lady, which, to be fair, I haven't looked at yet. I'm not going to lie. There any...
I haven't either.
Let's just take a quick glance at them, see if there's any of those that we like. So we got the Lady's Gift. It's an enhancement. Casting value 7+ or 10+. Range 12. Remains in play. Cast with 7 or more. Target friendly unit gains regen 6+. To 10+, you get 5+. But remains in play regen. That's always fun. Burning Gaze. Magic Missile 10+. 5d6 range, which could be really good or really bad. Average is still going to be fine, yeah. Draw a line of sight, 5d6 in length from the caster's edge base. Enemy model who falls underneath this line suffers a single strength 4 hit, no armor saves permitted, ward and regeneration as normal. So if someone gets a big block, and especially you catch somebody in a marching column, you can take out quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Lady's Wrath, enhancement, casting value 9, range self, remains in play. Whilst, my favorite word in the old world. Whilst this spell is in play, the caster, their mount, and any unit they have joined gain +1 modifier to their strength characteristic to a maximum of 10. And improve armor piercing other weapons by 1. So
that's pretty solid.
I feel like that's one you probably might shift to pretty easily. Just
right.
Especially if you're like on a Grail Knights or something crazy like that.
Right.
To be fair, I'm okay. Like on the Royal Pegasus, I might want to give her some items, but I'm not too stressed about giving her magic items too much, especially if she's going to be in a unit.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be candid. I haven't really looked into any magic wielders yet, just because they're not available for me to buy. So it's just like, should I be up to date on those rules? Absolutely. And is that why I got crushed when I played? Absolutely, because I didn't have anybody to counter any of the magic that was brought to the board every single time. But yeah, all that sounds good. I mean, I'm definitely going to get a prophetess. I'd like to get a damsel as well, just to have them, right? And of course, Lady Elise. I mean,
oh yeah, I want. Yeah,
we've already said that. I would love to have her and be able to bring her.
Okay, well, yeah.
Hey, don't leave out my boy, dude.
Which boy?
Don't leave out my Green Knight.
Oh, we're
don't
not there
be leaving
yet.
out the green.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
We got the core done.
Right.
We're looking at the
Scared
heroes.
me
We're
there
gonna look
for a
at the special right now. So, in special choice, Battle Pilgrims, which are cool, not my thing. Squires, once again, they're okay, not my thing. Mounted Yeomen, I'm sad I didn't pick any of these up because they're actually pretty good with their rules. Because
I haven't looked too much too far into them as well.
Fast cavalry, fire and flee, open order, like reserve move. They're just feign flight as an optional thing you can upgrade them to. They're just such good chaff.
Right.
They're such good chaff,
Right.
especially when you're trying to dictate the charges and lanes you want.
Maybe running them with some knights on foot. I don't know.
Oh yeah, actually that'd be a good combo.
There might be something there. You
I mean,
know,
they're
I don't know.
65 points for 5, which that's probably all you're taking, and you're not giving them upgrades. You don't care. Like, you'll give them Feign Flight for 2
No.
points each, so cool.
Yeah, I agree with that.
At least that's my view of it. But then, so questing knights and questing knights and questing knights. And then Pegasus knights after. So questing knights. Do you take questing knights since you're doing more of an errantry style list on occasion?
Again, I
skill 5,
missed out on
strength 4.
buy. I'm gonna so I've talked to Neil, and I think I'm gonna have him print me some out, just because I'm tired of waiting for them. So because I want to run them, but yes, they are going to be a pivotal part of my army when I do get them. I love everything about them. I love everything about the lore. I love everything about their stats, their baseline stats they have. I like all the upgrades that you can give them, because you can give them a ton of upgrades. They're a pretty beefy unit
points
when they're
magic
out there.
standard. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but they're beat sticks. They're like the I don't know though. Pegasus Knights are pretty beefy too.
I think different roles. I eventually, since I'm doing a unified color palette for my duchy,
Mm-hmm.
I eventually want to get. I'm like you. When I can get them, I'll get questing knights, just so I can have that unit of classic.
Oh, I have questing knights.
Well, I want classic where like they're all mixed together. You know, like this they're all different colors. They're all very unique heraldry. Nice.
Yeah, I that's when I with the questing knights and the knights. I don't know, the Grail Knights. What I might do, because I'm a huge Kingdom of Heaven fan. I love that movie. Is do all of my questing knights in like a crusader type get up, right? Like just either like the white with the black cross, or the white with the red cross, or like an off-white white, just for the whole year. I think that would kind of look cool aesthetically if I did that.
Yeah.
Right. Just for that unit itself, and that would distinguish it from everything else I have on the board. But then with the questing knights, like to go to what you're saying, it's just going to be just a ton of different colors.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe doing the Grail Knights uniform might go against the lore a little bit. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think
it's yours. I mean, I'll tell you what, let's say Pegasus Knights, since they're so different, because Grail Knights are just a better version of Knights. They're the peak level of Knights. Weapon skill 6, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 attacks. So like they're just so beefy. 100 points on the magic items, plenty of upgrades, and Living Saints. And this is such a good role. Every model in a unit of Grail Knights can issue and accept challenges in the same manner as a character. So you put in your Prophetess in there, she's buffing them, or you put in your Duke there, your BSB, and they'll never get touched because your peons are going to take every single challenge, and those guys, they're kitted out to, like, you can safely make offensive characters in here or protect your damsel greatly with them. But I mean, you're paying the points,
and that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes with their lore, man. I mean,
you're gonna have one
I like that.
That's like
100%.
You're gonna kid it to hell and back.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And they're a rare choice, so that makes sense.
Now to go back to questing knights, I just don't know where they fit in. I think they're kind of like a middling.
I think if you are doing like I think you could, if you want, essentially it's a budget version of Grail Knights. Okay, I want one beefy knight unit like me. I'll take them, and I'll beef them up. They won't be Grail Knights, but they'll be better than some of my other knights I have, because I'll need to keep a budget down because I have so many Royal Pegasus that I have to pay for.
And I would be paying for those too, because Royal Pegasus are freaking awesome.
Yeah, but also questing knights are special, not rare, so you might be able to get 2 of them in if you keep it kind of cheap.
Right.
Pretty easily. So like that's there's space for them. It's just, do you want quantity or quality, I guess.
Right.
Pegasus Knights, which I need to talk about. Because
you can talk about them, because you're chomping at the bit about that, so no pun intended.
Yeah. So, since I am from the Duchy of Paravon, that's located next to the Forest of Lauren and the World Ed Mountains. So that's where all any Pegasus that you got in any Bretonnian army came from my duchy. So therefore, that's why everything I can, as much stuff on Pegasus as possible. All 3 of my heroes. I have 2 units of 6. Obviously, these are special. 2 units of 6 Peg Knights. And I'm running them in Lance formation, not because it's good, but because it looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely. In the way that you kitted them out, I mean,
yeah.
If nobody's seen it, the way that Chuck's is kitted out is they're all kind of landing on pillars, and
they're descending into the charge. Is my goal
right.
For
them. Did a hell of a job with those, by the way.
Thank you.
But no,
I'm proud of them.
But they are, they're for a special unit. They're super beefy. I mean, they can do so much.
They're incredibly quick. They are weapon skill 4, strength 4 knights. The Pegasus itself, weapon skill 3, strength 4. I mean, you typically would run these in units of 3, and you'd be all over the place. No one would touch you. You charge wherever you want. Like, you can do whatever you want with them, pretty much. But they can also be shot. So if you're running them in 3, run them in the skirmish formation to get the extra damage there. Yeah, I just think they're neat. I guess is the March 6th.
Well, and then I mean, you pick, the correct, what is it, duchy or whatever you want to say. Like,
I chose the duchy first, and then those came.
Yeah.
So it was like I was kind of like locked in, but yeah, Pegasus Knights, they're great. I don't know what else to say about them other than they're great. You're probably going to run 1 to 2 units of 3. That's how you want to actually use them in the army. Don't be a madman like me, because it's not worth it. But
I kind of feel like they're an auto include too.
I think 1 unit is an auto include, for a special.
Yeah,
because they're 55 points each, and you can put on the upgrades. I don't know if you really need to. I mean, you can also take.
And their charge range is crazy. I think it's been a while.
See. Well, it's normal Pegasus. Let me see what their fly move is here.
Where's it at?
Bard of Pegasus. Fly 10, movement 7, in case you lose the fly for whatever reason. So yeah.
Yep.
And Swift Stride, I believe. So plenty of.
Yeah. Yep. Swift Stride and counter charge. They have counter charge.
Yeah, they do have counter charge.
So.
Yep. Yeah, but they're great. That's all I'm gonna say.
And Furious Charge. They have Furious Charge. They have a lot of.
Oh, they do have Furious Charge too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they're pretty sick. They're an auto include. If anybody out there is gonna think about running Bretonnia, definitely get a unit of those.
Yeah, and I think they came with the box too. You got 3.
Yeah, you can't get wrong with the starter. But if you're getting into the old war for the first time, and you're seeing this this podcast, then
go buy that starter box set for Bretonnia.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's great.
The value's there, 100%.
Well, next thing up to take a look at then, and actually the last thing, I don't have any. I've seen so many people have them. I've always seemed like they were not good enough, and they would cause panics because they're the easiest things to hurt. The field trebuchets.
I have one.
Okay.
I'm one of the lucky people that actually got one, but
that's also very true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very pumped about that unit. I really want to paint it up. I love the aesthetic. I love that they're just flinging whatever rocks they can find.
That's fun.
Whatever. Landscape they can pick up and chuck at the opponent. I really like that. I'm bringing them.
Okay.
As soon as I'm definitely gonna bring it. I didn't bring it to our event that we were at last because it wasn't available then. I think it was still on its way or whatever it may have been. But I'm gonna run one. Why not? I would like, just because I saw what ranged artillery can do when I was out there playing. I want that option, so that's why I bought one. And I want to bring one.
That's fair. It's just every time I played against it, I'm like, okay, here's my Shadow Warriors. Okay, that's dead. Or I just somehow get lucky and shoot it and make it run off the board, and then the peasants that you camped right next to it are now running off the board, and it's just a chain reaction of why.
Well, that's why if I were, I would put it as close to the board edge as possible, but then put
It
the
does have the
peasants
range.
up, yeah, far enough. Put them up far enough to where that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're basically just a bump in the road, right? That's what they're there for. The peasants are there to kind of screen for other units,
They get lucky on their
So
way in. Yeah.
they're there to screen for vulnerable units like that. They're never going to screen for knights. I
No,
mean,
knights are off doing the real work.
right? They're already up the field anyways, fighting, right? So you kind of keep them, back there just to protect, the trebuchet, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I have one. I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to paint that model up. It's to me, it's a beautiful model, even though it's old. They did do a little rework to it from what I read a while back, which I don't know what I read it because it was months ago. But I know that they kind of fixed some things up with the original cast.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I mean that covers everything in like the core Bretonnia book, from like our thoughts and perspectives. So let's look at the Arcane Journal here as we get through it. So real quick, just to explain the Iron Tree Crusade, which I think is the most common army you see out there anymore. Yeah, that's yours.
Yep.
Instead of actually reading through this, you can run an army without peasants. The other army, you have to take some peasants. This one, no peasants. You're fine. It's cool. I think the only
you get the blessing.
You could take a trebuchet still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, and then that's what battle pilgrims are technically peasants, I suppose, in a way, but they're not running. They're pretty solid. So, but yeah, and then with that, yeah, you get Crusader's Zeal. This special rule increases the maximum charge range by 1 inch and may apply a +1 to your charge results. That's insane.
Yep.
Crusader's Vow. This Chivalrous Vow has the Veteran special rule. That's insane. In addition, you don't take you don't care about peasants again, but who cares? You don't have any. And then earn your spurs. An enemy standard captured by Knights Errant, in this case, is worth 100 victory points because they're going out to prove themselves. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if you'd actually... I mean, you're going to have one unit, because you have to, of Knights Errant for that army.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you're going to have more than one. But hey, if they get lucky and get a banner, extra 100 points, that's not bad.
They're your peasants. They're your peasants,
that's true,
yeah. That's what they are in this list. But I really like what the Old World's done and what GW's done with the rules for every army is they have their own flavor, and everything kind of just it's very cohesive how they put all the rules together for each particular army. Very, very lore driven.
Yes. And actually, we'll look at the Exiles, and then we'll look at the new characters we got at the Green Knight and all that fun stuff that you want to talk about.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
So Exiles, you can have 0 to 1 Baron for every 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Damsels. You're not getting a Duke in here, which kind of hurts, but it makes sense. Your core, you have 1 Knight of the Realm on foot or Mounted Knights. You have to have 1 Yeoman Guard or Peasant Bowman, so you have to have those peasants with you because you're leaving your home area and establishing a new foothold. You need peasants to do the work. You can have 0
Goes
to 1,
back to lore.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep, 0 to 1 Knights Errant for every 1,000 points, and Men at Arms and Mounted Yeomen to your heart's desire. You can take Squires and Pegasus Knights still. You can take a Battle Pilgrim up to 1,000 points. And then your rare, you got Questing Knights and Border Prince's Brigands, 0 to 1 Field Trebuchets, and 0 to 1 Border Prince's Bombards, because these princes are okay with some gunpowder.
I know, man. And the mercenaries, like...
I saw... The only reason I want to do an Exile army is I saw someone take the new Cities of Sigmar cannon, Great Cannon, ripped most of the front off, put on Bretonian bits and Bretonian people around it, and it looks great.
It has to look
so
good.
Sick. And I was like, I need to get that. Which is why, maybe a reason not to use those extra command squad I have for Men at Arms. I'll save that for in case everyone do that kit bash.
You should do that.
I might.
Absolutely.
You get the Exile's Vow for this one. This Chivalrous Vow has Stubborn and Veteran. That's great, actually. In addition, you do not have to take panic tests when friendly units with either the leviers or peasantry special rules, so a little bit bonus. So you really just care about your nobles. I think is what that kind of
Right.
goes down to. And then you also get Reclaim Glory. Exile's army cannot pray for the Blessing of the Lady. However, should a unit with Blessing of the Lady special rule make an overrun move or make contact, that unit will immediately gain the benefits of the Blessing of the Lady. So you can kind of re-earn your stripes, essentially. So, which is what this Exiles are about. They don't think they're in the wrong, but it's the more chivalrous thing to take the Exile and reclaim your glory, even if you know you're right sometimes.
Mm-hmm. They're the outlaws, man. They're the outlaws. That's one of the things that kind of drew me to them. Is I like that aspect of it, especially them being able to, because in the Bretonnian lore, of course, gunpowder is a huge no-no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like the coward's way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
So, but I like that flavor that these guys have been kicked out. And they're like, well, screw it. I don't care about that anymore. We're going to go ahead and use some cannons.
We're bringing a cannon I found here.
Yeah, we're going to blow some people apart with some cannons. I don't need a trebuchet. So.
Yep. All right, so let's take a look at the characters here to wrap up the show. So
yeah,
your boy, the Green Knight, have at it. Tell us about him.
I can't say enough good things about him. Maybe it's because I wiped a bunch of units out against Neil, which was freaking awesome. But I really think that
and the reason
it was because
he needs to be hit with magical attacks, and if you don't have that,
exactly,
he's going wherever he wants. Because he appears on any natural terrain feature, right? On a certain roll?
Right. Any natural. So there's a tree there, there's a hill, whatever it may be, he can just pop out and do his thing. And he has two separate attacks that he can do. I forget what they are. Let me see. Of course, he's ethereal, right?
So there's Rapid Strikes and Deadly Blows. So the Rapid Strikes is just his Strength 4, Extra Attacks D6, AP 1. Deadly Blows is Strength +2, so it'll be Strength 6, Armor Bane 1, Magical Attacks, and Multiple Wounds 2. So Chaff versus...
Chaff, exactly. And I used both of those when I was playing Neil. But yeah, just the ethereal, him being able to come out of nowhere. I mean, you could really wreck somebody's backlines if they're not paying attention. But usually when you tell somebody you're bringing the Green Knight, they're well aware of, not leaving kind of any vulnerabilities out there for him to kind of hop on the board and do some damage, right?
The key defense as my high elf player for me that I learned. Oh, you have the Green Knight? Here's my Sisters of Avalorn. Strike first, magical attacks, firing, just like I'll kill you over and over again, no problem.
Right, but you can bring him back, right?
Of
course, he's going to be a little bit weaker, right? If you can bring him back, but he's still. I just love the model. Yep. I love the lore. I love that. I forget who the first king was off the top of my head, but that's who they think he is, right?
Leon LaCour. No,
Leon LaCour.
No.
I forget the original king. I forget. Somebody out there will know, and they're gonna be like, "This guy's an idiot." I'm gonna look it up.
You keep talking. I'm gonna find it because, we should know that.
But yeah, that's what the lore is. They don't really know who he is, but they think that's who he is, right? I mean.
Yeah, but we know from the end times that's who it is.
Yeah, everything about him is
Giles
amazing.
Le Breton.
That's it. Yep. Or Giles, whatever you want to say. Yeah, he's and he was a beat stick just in the lore. I mean, that dude.
Oh yeah, he's the reason
he went through so much.
He's the first one to sip from the Grail. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but this
the lady is not an elf. Okay.
It is. It's an elf goddess technically. So you're right.
It's not.
It's an elf goddess. You're right. But 275 points. He has to be off the table for you to get the victory points for it. So yeah, take it. He has a 5-up ward.
He's just nasty.
He's nasty. He's worth it too. Yeah, if you got the points, you put him in.
275 points is not a lot for that. For just him.
No,
I don't think so.
No, you could. Yeah, I don't think so either. If I had one, I would find a way to put him in my list. But I gotta wait for him to come back in stock. The next character, Sir Cecil Gaston. This is from the narrative in this book.
Yep.
He's the Worm Slayer. He's a duke. 165 points. He's got a special weapon. He's a Monster Slayer weapon. Strength +1, so Strength 5. So he's not getting a lance, but he's here to kill dragons. Dragonhide Cloak.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what it is.
Infantry, yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna take him in like a list unless you just fall in love with his story.
He's more of a. Isn't his story, if I recollect, isn't he part of the Exiles?
He is part of the Exiles, yeah.
Right, right. So if I ran Exiles, I'd probably kit bash a model
Yeah.
together to make it look like him. Why not?
Actually, let me. I'm checking here. He has the Exiles vow, which as you should. He may be included in any Kingdom of Bretonnian army made using any army composite. Okay, so you can bring him in whatever you want. So that's fun. So if you want to have the Exiles vow, some reason, I guess. He is a monster killer. That's what he's made to do. You might be able to kit bash a Duke to do it better, but I think he's probably worth the points. But like I said, to me, you have to love his story, I think, to want to bring him. But you can.
I mean, the Dragonhide cloak is pretty sick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Was it armor piercing characteristics of non-magic weapons reduced by 2? He's immune to killing blow.
Yep. He's immune to killing blow. Multiple wounds is huge.
And 3-up ward.
And he's a 3-up ward.
Yeah. He's tough.
So he's a tough guy. Yeah. I mean, I guess you'd be tough if you're out there slaying dragons.
Yeah, I mean,
all that good stuff.
That too. He's an infantry hero, so like you put him in with that's where you put the Knights of the Realm on foot. That's where he goes.
Good call.
Yep, that's where because they'll get up the board and he'll just kill whatever he touches with that. So, but I mean, for an infantry character, it could be I think it could be considered expensive. But I don't know if you let us know in the comments. I never really gave much of a look, but his stuff's not bad. I don't hate it.
So, no, never mind. I was gonna. So the infantry on foot, they don't have anything where you can bring along that makes them all champs, right?
I don't
like the Pegasus Knights
or Grail Knights.
Think how nasty that would be. Is if for some reason they had that, you know what I mean? Like a block of 20 guys. That they would never do that, but then you throw him in there. Oh man.
Yeah. That would be crazy, but yeah, I guess if you have lots of monsters in your meta, put them with those Knights of the Realm on foot and let him take care of them. Because also, whenever he kills, I just read that whenever he kills a monster's infantry, a monster's cavalry, or a behemoth during any combat, he gains terror for the rest of the game because everyone's just like, "Oh, that's a badass over there."
Right.
I mean, that's cool, but also like, if they have multiple monsters, you're chasing the monsters, which don't care about the terror. I bet so.
Right. You're selling me on them.
Slowly, yeah. Like I'm talking myself into him a little bit, but we'll see. Let's move on to Lady Elise Ducard, which the most beautiful model in the entire range. I am so bummed that she's only level 3.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't understand.
You think a named character?
It's either. I want to say I don't want to say like it's like I love the game. It's great. I have a feeling that they didn't really anticipate just how needed and mandatory level 4 is if you're taking any sort of wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the case more so because she's a named character being a level 3. That should be like, whoa, that's crazy. Like I got what's level 4 look like? Like Techless, like.
Well, the one cool thing about her though is you can bring her as another model, right? You don't necessarily have to.
You just put it as a prophetess on a unicorn, which is what she's riding.
Right. But why? I don't know. I'm with you though. Why would you give her 3? It doesn't make any sense.
But to offset that level 3 is the arcane backlash she has. Do you like the silver mirror? What if you just always had the silver mirror? You may apply a +1 modifier to your dispels from her. In addition, should the roll of any natural 1 when making a dispel roll, not including rolls of natural double 1, so you can't miscast on it. The spell's unbound, and the casting wizard immediately loses a single wound. I don't know if I can't remember if that was FAQ. They just take the wound. I don't know if you can save it in any way, shape, or form, except for maybe regeneration.
You know what? Maybe this does.
That's a great ability.
That's her redemption.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not saying she's not worth taking even as level 3. I'm just saying the level 3 will hurt more because it's harder to get off spells you might need.
Right.
But that
Right.
thing right there is just phenomenal.
It's insane.
And then she does have the Staff of the Elements, which is kind of fun because it's clearly a wood elf staff. It's playing into the like it's that knowledge that we all know. Like, yeah, the lady's actually elf goddess.
Stop.
If you wish, Lady Elsa may discard 2 of her randomly generated spells rather than 1 and select 2 signature spells from Lore of Elementalism and or Lore of the Lady. So you can get both of the good lores if you choose to for her.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. She's got. I mean, I'm just looking through everything that she has right now. It's magic resistance -2.
Oh, yeah, and like she's on a unicorn, so she's got the armored hide.
Right.
She's got the beguiling aura, which actually I forget what that does exactly. Let me see. Is that
Enemies must take a leadership test before making any rolls to hit against this model. That's pretty huge. During the combat phase.
Yeah, so they can't swing. They're not going to choose the swing hunter unless she's the only thing. Obviously, countercharge because it's a unicorn. Magic resist, swift stride, stomp attacks, shield a lady. Yeah, I'm not saying she's bad. She's 225 points. 1, it's the most gorgeous model in the range, and 2, she has utility. And this is more of not wishing she was level 4. I just wish level 4s weren't as needed in the rule set.
Right. Well, if you bring a prophetess that's a level 4 on a unicorn, she's 200 points.
Yeah.
If you bring one on a Royal Pegasus, that's 225 points.
Yeah.
So I see her. I don't know, man. Now that I've looked at everything on my end,
she is pointed perfectly appropriately. I have no qualms about that. It's more about the fact that if you don't bring a level 4, you're kind of hamstringing yourself a little bit. That's if you're trying.
You are.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I love everything else about her. And I don't even necessarily want her to be a level 4. I just want the game to not revolve around level 4s.
Yeah, I agree.
But still, buy her. She's the best model in range, and just play her as a level 4.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait until I get that email saying, "Hey, she's in stock," and then I go there to buy it and it's gone again. I'm like, oh man. But
some other options in here. So you got the Outcast Wizards, in case you're doing the Exile Army. So it's essentially you get level 1 human wizard from the Empire, does some wizardy stuff. The Omen Guard, which essentially is just like a different type of man-at-arms, it feels like, just for the exiles.
Yeah. Yep.
Border Prince's Brigands, which that's just like a motley, do they have motley crew?
It's just like
yeah, they do have motley crew. Yeah. It's just you picked up these guys along the way and you're feeding them, so they're fighting for you. It's cool. It fits the theme. Yep. Let's look at the Bombard real quick because it's cool. 100 points, range 48, strength 8, AP 3, armor bane 2, fires like a cannon, cumberspin, move or shoot, multiple wounds D3 +1, obviously a misfire table. I know like everyone's like, oh, it's just a cannon with stuff. I'm like, it is, but it's a cannon you can bring with a freaking Bretonnian army.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see your kit bash.
I'm copying that one I found online, and I'm trying to find it again so I can have its inspiration.
I definitely want to see that and see what you do with it. I think it'd be.
That said, if you're doing Exiles, you're giving up on a lot of cool stuff you can bring. So
you are, but the flavor's cool.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
You know what I mean? Like the way that just the lore around it, and just they're outlaws, man. So I do like that aspect of it. Kind of goes against the grain.
Is there any of the magic items in the Arcane Journal you like, or anything else? Besides, I like the Seal Paravon, obviously, for my theme, but anything else?
Yeah, I like the Seal Paravon, too. I mean, even though it doesn't go... my army's from Corone, right? So it doesn't really fit, but it's a... Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
But other than that, not really that I can think of. I like a lot of the standard... kit, standard stuff that you can bring with the kits before the Arcane Journal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just the last bit here, real quick. Let's just talk briefly about where our armies are from.
Okay.
And where we're saying. I'll start, and I'll give you the final word. So I got the map up here. I'm not sure if I can show it. Nope, it's going to be blurry. Never mind. So if you... Page 10 of your Arcane Journal. If you look in the middle right, in all the mountains right above Athalor, and that's the Duchy of Paravon. So, oh, there you go. There it is. That's where I'm at.
I don't know if is it blurry?
No, yours is fine. Mine's blurry because of the blur filter. Yours is fine.
There you go.
So
it's right there.
Yep, it's blue and black. It's obviously they don't live in the mountains. They live at the base of the mountains, right next to the river. So they go up into the mountains, get their Pegasi. Yeah, Pegasuses. Okay. But I do like that there's some lore that they are friendly enough with the wood elves, essentially, or the fae folk that live within there, because it's all mystical. And there's also the two other pieces of lore that I love about this. Is one, like I said, they're close to the fae folk, so they can go into the woods up until that river. And they're like, that's okay. They can go slightly past it, because if there's any of the girls that are taken to become damsels, they fail for whatever reason, they're not just killed. They're put back in the woods, so the people in Paravon will find them and take them in.
Right.
So like, and
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like kind of fae touched, but and then the other thing with Paravon, and this is like a weird one I stumbled upon. I tell it every time I can. The duchy in Paravon, the thing is, you're born. When you come of age to learn, you're sent to a different village, essentially, within Paravon. And then that way you learn something different. And when you're ready to establish a trade, you're sent to another one. And then from there you get married, you have kids, and the cycle repeats. That's what the peasants do. And the nobles also do this as well. Like, they're like, okay, you know, obviously the nobles are a little bit more closely related, as they do, but they spread out a lot more. It's like, okay, well, you're ready to go become a knight. You're going over here to, you know, my third cousin, or like my close friend who has this place over here. And like, it's, so you don't ever grow up in the village you live in. And the anecdote, what I love about this is it says in the anecdote, it's not in any of these ones. This is like old lore you have to dig up. Because of this, Paravon is the least inbred of all the duchies. Which,
look at you.
Which one, that's fun, and two, having a least inbred implies that there's a most inbred.
Right, which is probably segueing into who I picked.
Well, I'll let you can take that honorific if you want, but where's your
no,
your from?
I don't want
what's
that.
The story about them?
So, I'm Corone.
Which is the northern,
you know what?
northern center, right?
Right, they are in.
Yeah, they're by the sea.
Old lore.
Yep.
Yeah. So they have a really, you know, in the lore that I know, is they have a really good close relationship with the Empire.
Yeah.
Because they butt right up against Marienburg. You know, they have an uneasy alliance with the elves,
well,
right?
Just because most of their like places they live on, like the abandoned elf settlements.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That whole kind of peninsula, like Lion East, right there, like Lion East and Leguile, they're there, but really under the protection of Corona, at least from my knowledge of that.
Okay.
But that whole area right there is almost like a peninsula. You know, is close to where the High Elves are, right? So yeah, a lot of the basically Corone's capital. What
before humans, High Elves lived there. And then they pulled back to Athel Loran whenever the split happened, and then after the War of the Beard. So it's in humans token.
There you go.
It's right for the pick, and I take it too.
Right, and they have, like I said, they have a really close alliance with the Empire, which I really like, because cool. I love the Empire. And I just like the scheme, man. I love the red and blue, and then the line of nobility, all that stuff. I mean, it drew me in. The art drew me in. I mean, this, if I can find it, this is the one picture from not only like recently, but back in the day that like really drew me in to that army. But yeah, I have a whole backstory with my army. You know, my Duke's name is Lander Dio, which basically means he's a hunter. I forget what Lander and Dio means off the top of my head right now, because it's been a while. You know, and I have this whole backstory that I gave Chuck. I wrote out a backstory about him and how he came to find his Pegasus. Yeah. So I really like how it turned out. You know, I don't have the most in-depth knowledge. Like, I've read about Corone, of course, but I haven't read about it recently, so it's not, you know, stored away in my memory like Paravon is on your side. But but I've always liked the aesthetic of the army. I like the relationships that they have. I like that, where they live and where their settlements are old, elven strongholds on
Nice.
their end. So I love it, man. I love Bretonnia. I love just the way the army looks, and yeah, I definitely will Chrome because they're the
Are they the
I
poster
don't know.
children of the Bretonnian army?
They're the Ultramarines
Yeah.
of the Bretonnian army. So, but they're red and blue, not just Ultramarine blue. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, there you have it. Hopefully, that's
Yeah.
a unique way to review the army. I enjoy it more than just reading through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let
And I
us.
appreciate you having me on, man. This has been
Oh,
a blast.
no, I appreciate
it's
you.
nice going over the army.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you being on just to talk Warhammer and like just express your love of it. Which is why, like I said, I want Matt on for the dwarfs because he's the grumbler.
Oh,
But we need you too because you're gonna bring that Slayer aspect.
please have me. Yes, please have me on there because I can go all day about Slayers. Now, yeah, I couldn't give you that much background of Corone, but I can definitely give you a bunch of background on Slayers. So,
Well,
absolutely,
make sure you're like and subscribe so you can see Mike again. But
absolutely.
all right, everybody, we will catch you. Once again, reminder: next week I'm on vacation, so no podcast. So catch you in a couple weeks with the next episode, which will be 104. Yeah. So cool. All right, everybody out there, stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying.